Oh, again, everybody's Plowboy's Ghost Channel. I'm going to try to do something useful today, something helpful. I got my Smith & Wesson 657 mountain gun out today and off camera, just paying attention to what I'm doing. I put a few rounds, and I mean several cylinders full of 41 Magnum and 41 Special through it. I was running cast bullets. I was running H110, and I was running cast bullets and universal powder. So this is, I'm going to give you all a little idea how I clean. I get this question from time to time. How do you clean the powder fouling, etc., off of your stainless guns? I get me some of this Mother's mag and aluminum polish from Walmart. And I'm not going to take the cylinder out. I'm going to keep this just as basic and friendly as I can for YouTube and for what most of y'all are. You know, some of y'all ain't going to want to take your cylinders out. I get that. And I'm not even going to encourage you to disassemble a gun if you don't feel, you know, confident or competent with it or whatever. So let's just do it this way. I'm going to take a Q-tip and I'm going to smear. This is before you do any other cleaning because, you know, as you can see, we're getting some of this in the chamber throats and we're going to have to go back and get that out anyway. So we might as well just do our cleaning after we've done this. And this is easier if you pull a cylinder, but like I said, for making it user friendly right now, viewer friendly, I'm taking a nylon brush and kind of getting, well, you can see what I'm doing. And I probably should have done this half and half and got me a badass thumbnail of half of it dirty as it can be and half of it polished. And the truth is it can be faster than this, but I really do have a lot of fouling on it. So I'm going to take that nylon brush and just brush it real good and get the majority of it off. And then I'll look at my sleeves a little bit since I decided to wear a black shirt for this mess. You know, and the same thing with what little bit of powder fouling, scorching, whatever you get right here on the side of the cylinder. You're going to notice something. When I'm taking this brush and I'm going across it, well, that's not coming off too fast. But the moment I take my thumb and start wiping it, look how fast it comes off. That Mother's does a good job, and there's just something. I did this, and I'll probably have 40 kinds of cancer because of this. Something I wasn't aware of, but years ago, this is why I used to polish aluminum wheels on both three-wheelers and on Mustangs and whatever. Get me just a little bit of this, and I'm just going to put thumb to it. And I'm trying to watch what I'm doing through the back of the GoPro here, and you know that don't always work too good. So y'all forgive me if I get a little out of frame because I'm trying to split my attention between the gun itself, the quality of what I'm showing you, and actually showing you. Alright, just that little bit. Let me get this right here and we'll wipe it off and see what it looks like. I can see that I need to do just a little bit more, but y'all can already tell that nearly all of that is gone. There's a couple of spots there that I can't see it good through the viewfinder. If you want to call that a viewfinder, it's just the rear screen. Need to wipe just a little bit more. As you can tell, that takes it off relatively easily and relatively quickly. And I know people who have, and I did this too, using Hops number 9 or some other bore cleaner, some other solvent, and trying to get that mess off. You know, that can take forever, and sometimes it just don't even work. But y'all, I've got 99% of that off, 99 point something percent of that off already. Of course, now you still have to go back and brush out your chambers, clean them, oil them, to everything, you know, whatever you're going to do, however your normal cleaning goes. And then I turn my attention after I've got the cylinder to that point. Before I swab the bore and brush the bore and swab the bore, I'm going to do the same thing. Right, well, I really need to use a Q-tip for that as an applicator for that too. Do the same thing right here around the forcing cone, top strap of the frame, and even back here toward the back a little bit. Get that on there real good. I'm not shoving it down the bore, but trying to get enough of it on there that I can do some good here with it. And then, if you've chosen your angles and your position right, you can see this on camera, and I probably didn't. I'm going to take this nylon bristle brush, and I'm going to go ahead and work some of this back and forth. It ain't going to take a whole lot to knock a good bit loose, and the problem is you can't get thumb in here. And some reason, like I said, skin seems to work better taking this mess off, but I can't do that in this position. So this takes just a little bit more work. I can get a little bit of that on there, can't I? Get it down in there too. Everywhere that you normally get that scorching, that fouling, that residue, that lingering darkness. And then after that, I'll just take clean Q-tip. If I can tap the back of my back screen so I can see again. Take a clean Q-tip and get as much in that crevice as you can, whatever. And then I'm going to take the nylon brush again, and then I'm going to swab everything. And usually when you've got it about to this point, you know, and I've still got some more to get off there. It don't come right off, but it comes off a lot easier than trying to use solvents. And that's my experience, that's my opinion. And I'm hoping to, you know, this is not telling you, hey, you're doing it wrong, but hopefully maybe giving you an idea some way that, you know, sharing a little bit of my experience and what's worked out good for me over the years, and maybe it'll help somebody out too. Trying to make some content worthwhile that's not just a rant every now and then, or telling you why, you know, a real Magnum is better than, you know, for where you really need power and where you really need penetration, where it's better for things than compromised calibers like 9mm and 10mm and stuff like that. You know I get people watching that, and I really do, you know, I care about the subject. But it's not me trying to be a jerk to anybody or say, hey, because you got a 9mm, you know, there's 9mm in yonder. But I just don't think they're the king of everything. And if I own another 10mm, I can assure you I'm not going to think it's God's gift to, you know, big critter defense and everything else like a bunch of these. I don't even know what polite word I can use, because I'm just so sick of some of these people carrying on and on and on about stuff. And anyway, what could turn into a rant, couldn't it? Use a little bit of mothers, use thumb where you can, finger on stainless steel contact. Just don't cut yourself. And that can happen if you don't know your gun, you got a sharp edge somewhere. And y'all, that's how I do it. Now it's just a matter of swabbing, brushing my chambers, brushing the bore, swabbing, running patches, and then generally wiping everything down, lubricating it however you would do it, you know, whatever your sensibilities are with stainless. But as you can tell, that's got the vast majority off, and the rest is going to come off in the process of me brushing out the chambers and wiping everything down. So that's how I get a stainless revolver clean and shiny again. It's not clean and shiny yet, but you know the process. That's how I get down the road toward making it good and shiny again, and getting rid of all that black crap at the front of the cylinder and right up around here around the forcing cone and stuff. I think y'all can probably tell from this point, without me holding you on much longer, that that's the right path to be on. At least it is in my opinion. So anyway, I appreciate y'all watching. I will talk to you later.